Hello there. Um, Today I got in the new VC181 uh, Mandalorian figure, so it's his full Beskar, and unlike the build-up pack that we got from a while back, this is it's the cleaner version, and so now we have the VC166, and I don't remember the VC number for that. It did have its own. I just don't remember right now, but and now the VC181, the clean one. So I thought I figured look at the figure and kind of compare the three figures together, see what's good on and what's not so great. But we'll start here with the card back. So I mean, a lot of people have done this, and like I said, I've got a few of these. I'm kind of going to wait for the Razor Crest to come in before I start taking them out of the package to display them. But so here he is. Heard some complaints about the image. I'm not really a carded collector for the most part. I do have a few. I mean, in my room tour, I do keep some carded, generally special ones. But here's one that I don't know. I like the picture. It looks pretty good. And here's the figure himself. There. So it looks good in the package and in the back. So we're going back a little bit on the waves here. So VC181. You got the Rogue One, Vader, Captain Rex, Mando, Hondo Anaka, the Armor, Moff Gideon, our Trooper 5s, and Chirrut Imwe. All great figures. I know that the Captain Rex is. I kind of wish. I hope, or if they do a realistic, they do a Captain Rex in the style of the fives, Jesse and Echo. Those are all phenomenal. That should just be the template for any clone figure going from now on. I mean, they're just near perfect. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're talking about Mando. So here's the figure itself, and there's a lot of I would say not really like a complaint, maybe just a minor gripe, but the way the helmet and it's a little too silver. Whoops, mine is that the jetpack doesn't really stay on very well, but that's not a big deal. I think that's easy to fix. It's not too worried about when it's displaying. It's usually pretty good. But so if you look at it, I mean, I would say that this one here on that is kind of the really good color. I'll show you because I have here. Let me pull back just a little bit here. But actually, I'm going to have to move these guys to do this. And but here is my Novos helmet. So if you look at this, that should be the color of his helmet. So it's not that bright a silver. And I gotta say, out of the other figures that we have here, as I put the helmet down very carefully because it's expensive, if you're looking for a match on that, these two figures, the helmet color of the metal is much closer to the screen accurate helmet. And this one's just a little too silver. I mean, it's too bright. That being said, having it in hand, it is a little bright. It is definitely, you can definitely tell the difference. I'm not freaking out over it. It's not. I mean, as a review, I think I should point out any kind of negative things on it, and I mean, it is kind of a little off, but I'm not really complaining about it. It doesn't look bad on the figure. And it's not like you're going to display them, this one right next to this one. You're not. I mean, it's the same character. But I don't know. I mean, it's, like I said, it's just a little bright, but it's not bad. It's not really. It's just something you notice. I mean, it's not really like they've ruined this figure or anything like that. It's just, it's noticeable. I will say that. now. But you know what I might do though is take like the Dinjarin head and put it on this body and use that as like saying goodbye to Grogu when he leaves with Luke, kind of thing. You know, that might work in a display. But I mean, overall, it's not that color is not bad. But I mean, looking at it, these guys are roughly the same. This is the chest here sculpt is different because this one has all the dents, where this one, you know, pure Beskar and pristine. You know, so I mean, as far as a sculpt, these two are pretty much the same, except for some paint apps giving it weathering. I'm wondering, and honestly, if you're watching this and if you've tried this, comment below. I'm wondering if you could clean up some of the paint apps on this, the weathering paint apps. I wonder how well that would work. I wouldn't want to take off the paint underneath. If it is, you know, I don't know if it's black and they painted the metallic over it. I don't know, I'll pop the head off and take a look. And I might as well do it now. So yeah, it's kind of hard to, I don't know. But if they painted it, they probably painted the whole thing. But anyway. Yeah, so overall, I mean, you know, this is the same sculpt. I mean, we even have the Mudhorn skull on the pauldron there. And, you know, this one just has some extra paint apps on it and a little more screen accurate color on the helmet. But again, you know, it's a good figure. I mean, look, he's well articulated. I think the only thing is they weren't doing rocker ankles quite yet, which is odd because the ARC Trooper 5s does have rocker ankles, and so it's kind of weird that they didn't put them on here. But again, I mean, the rocker ankles, as great as they are, and I mean, it's kind of a bonus, really, as far as I mean, it really does make them more posable, but you know, it's not a deal breaker for me if he doesn't have it. But if they did it in a future release, if they could put rocker ankles on a figure like this, because you're definitely, you know, posing this guy in different combat poses, it would definitely help. But anyway, so here's the back, and you have this slot here for the Rising Phoenix. There's also a small hole you can put the disintegrator rifle in there. You can do both. Is, you know, it's just when you do both, though, this is really prone to popping out, the jetpack. It's not, you know, it's horrible. You can make it work. It's my point. And the plastic cape does move out of the way. I am curious to see with the version of the Mandalorian we're getting with the Razor Crest, with the soft goods cloak, if he's going to have a slot in his back for a jetpack. But yeah, we'll find out, won't we? Oops, yeah, see what I mean? This thing falls out really easy. But again, it's not a deal breaker for me. I mean, I really do like the figure. It's very posable, well detailed, and so definitely looks good. He stands well, especially when I stop moving around with his feet. Yeah, see, he's got so a lot of similar parts here, just repainted. That's a different sculpt here. I'll show you, just to show you between the 160. So they did change it up a bit, but you know, there are some reused parts here. I'm saying the legs are probably similar, just repainted. You know, which is fine. You know, they don't need to be different because other than a slightly different color, you know, the different color of the armor, it's the same outfit regardless, you know. So I mean, again here, if you look, sorry, I don't know if you can tell, there's a little more detail on the gauntlets compared to 166, which should be because it's new armor, and so I'm just just trying to point out the comparison here. But I mean, definitely same sculpt here, and I haven't said it before enough times. But anyway, it's kind of weird that like a lot of reviewers overseas, outside the U.S., like it seems like this hit Europe and Australia, and it's just now coming into the U.S., which is weird because we're like a couple of waves away or past this, and it's just finally coming out. I mean, I ordered this on Entertainment Earth the day they were available, which was like November 2nd is what I looked up, and now they're just coming. I'm just getting it now in June, and I was pretty early to ordering. It was that day, so kind of weird it's coming this late in the U.S. and I don't think I don't know if anybody from Hasbro who ordered on Hasbro Pulse has received theirs yet. So if you have, or if you're getting them, let me know in the comments if because I would like to hear your thoughts on this figure as well. I mean, do you what do you like? What do you not like? I mean, that's one thing, is we all have different opinions on figures, and that's great. I love the diversity of collectors. That's why I love looking at different room tours, because everybody does something different, and it's just kind of fun that we all do things differently, and and that's just kind of what makes this a lot more fun, to see how everybody else does things with their collection. So and like I said, we're all going to have different likes and dislikes. I mean, like this helmet color. I know I spent a lot of time talking about it because it is something that's different, and it's worth discussing. But I'm sure there's people. I wonder if it's like I said, it's not a deal breaker for me on this figure. I don't dislike the figure because the helmet's a little shinier than I think it should be. But I would like to hear your opinion. I mean, I would like to see if they do a re-release of this figure down the road, like in a repack wave, and they change the color a bit. I'd be curious. It would be like kind of fixing the figure, and I'd be all for it. So it's kind of like how they're re-releasing figures now with that photoreal paint apps on their face. How amazing they look. Like I have a couple different of the version, of a couple of different of the Poe action figure. Here, I'll show you right here. This Poe, they released them. Like I got a couple of them to put in the, like I got one for the display that I have up here on my desk, and then I have a couple more in the different X-Wings from The Last Jedi, and then the one that came out for Rise of Skywalker. And when I did that, I ended up getting an extra Poe with the photoreal, and it's amazing how different, how much improved it. I mean, not that the one I just showed you is not the photoreal face, but it looks really good. And then they had the photoreal, and they actually made it better. So I mean, if they were to do a re-release of this figure, like a repack wave or something, it's going to come out again, because let's face it, The Mandalorian is probably one of the more popular things in Star Wars right now. Well deserved. I love the show, but if they were to do that and then just make this helmet look more like this one, just a clean version but this color, I'd buy a bunch. Just and probably replace whatever I'm putting these guys at, just because it's like one of the things I like to do. I like to have the most accurate figure in my display, and that would be more accurate. But anyway, I think I've talked this one to death. Even though it's a little off, I really do like the figure. I really kind of feel like I spent too much time talking about that color difference, but I think it just needs to be said, like I said before. And so, again, it's not like I don't recommend the figure. It's a really good figure. And just because it's cleaner, as I like this figure too. But again, it's just, it's just he, with the paint apps and stuff, the battle damage paint apps, he looks a little too beat up because you don't really see him like that in season 2. But again, it's not, like I said, it's not. I don't dislike this figure. I don't dislike any of these figures. I really think they're well done. I mean, it's like, it's good, but it could be a little better. Kind of thing. I like them all, so that's why I have them, and they're going to be fun to display, especially when that Razor Crest comes in. But so we should wrap that up now. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you could feel like it, hit the subscribe. I'd like to grow the channel a bit, and you subscribing would definitely very much help with that. Leave a comment. Do you like this figure? Do you have the figure? Are you still waiting to get him? It's kind of weird it's taken so long for him to get here. And I mean, I ordered them, like I said, day 1, but they're finally showing up in the States. Whoops. And so if you get them, if you're getting them, do you like him? Did you see earlier reviews and think this helmet was too silver? Did you cancel? Let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. But anyway, so like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time. And this is The Way.
Remember, the horse will be with you always.